If you're a slow pitch softball player, you probably want to learn how to hit to the opposite field. So if you haven't yet learned to really get comfortable hitting line drives and hitting the ball with authority the opposite way, in today's video, I'm going to give you some tips on the mechanics, on how to practice it, and some things to think about so you can get more opposite field hits in slow pitch softball. Now, I do want to mention that this is a sponsored video between myself and justbats.com. You'll find all the bats in this video today in the description below. So if you're looking for a bat and you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment on that as well. I answer as many questions as I can. I'll also link to my long video explaining the different types of slow pitch bats and what you should be looking for if you're in the market to buy a new one. All right, so let's start by comparing pulling the ball to going opposite field. So if you see here, the contact point is very far out in front of the plate. We've got to get the barrel far out in front to pull the ball and hit hard on the barrel. That's really important to make note of, and I'll loop these back, so don't worry. You'll see this again. To go opposite field, you have to wait longer. The pitch has to get deeper on the plate, and the contact point is going to be much closer to home plate or even over home plate in some instances. So this was an opposite field. I think just a fly ball. I didn't hit it that well, but you could see how much longer I waited on those two. And this is the difference. If you don't wait and you try to go opposite field, but you yank your hips out too soon, you might smash a line drive right back at your pitcher, and that can be a frightening scenario. So you have to wait and wait and wait, otherwise you're going to hit up the middle. So to summarize, here's what it looks like when you pull the pitch. You got to be way out in front. I'll take these yellow circles away in a second. And then when you go opposite field, you have to let the contact point be much deeper. Now, these pitches were different heights. So you can see the one pitch is about chest high, the other one's about mid-thigh. But even then, this still holds true that when you're going to go oppo, you got to wait longer. All right, one more quick example. Here's a line drive. Again, bat head way out in front to pull that through the 5-6 hole. And then this is an opposite field home run, and wait a lot longer to send that ball deep. Now, if you're out in front early on a pitch that you want to hit opposite field, you're going to hit off the end cap. And if you wait too long to pull the ball, you're going to hit it off the trademark. You're not going to barrel it up there either. So this is just where it's important to know what lateral location we're working with, so inside, outside, middle, and letting the ball travel or hitting the ball farther out in front if we want to pull it. All right, so if you want to drive this pitch to the opposite field with authority in slow pitch softball, let's talk about the mechanics and the one or two things to think about that's going to differentiate a hard hit on an opposite field pitch versus a ground out. So on this pitch, what we don't want to do is shoot our hands through the zone and pull this back hip forward too fast. This is the reason that you'll roll this pitch over. What I want to do instead is I see this pitch coming in, I'm going to track it. I'm almost going to let it get past me before I swing. And then what I'm thinking about is knob of my bat to the ball. If my knob goes towards the ball rather than pulling through, this is going to then deliver my barrel to the ball. So that's number one, knob, barrel, rather than knob, rollover. Number two is my back hip. Same thing here. When I go through my swing, if my first move is back hip yanks through, I'm gonna roll this pitch over, I'm gonna miss it, or I'm gonna pop it up. If my back hip instead goes with my knob, back hip goes boom towards the pitch, now the knob and the barrel and my back hip are all going towards right field. So let me show you what this looks like. So again, my batting tee is set up where it's deep on the plate. I'm striding here, and I know I'm set up to make good contact. So again, where you set your tee up is important. And now my goal is knob, back hip, and then barrel. Knob, back hip, barrel. So those are the questions you just want to ask yourself. Can I get my knob and my back hip both moving towards the softball? If I do that, I have a very good chance of hitting that opposite field pitch with authority. So first, this is the GT. This is a 53-inch batting tee, tallest on the market, made in the USA, all machined, aluminum stem, and this is their stainless steel pro base. This has these little sharp feet, so it really stays put and doesn't move around when you hit with it. The batting gloves I'm wearing are the Jax strap cuff. Really nice, really durable batting gloves. All right, bats you'll see in this video. Number one, Easton Salvo. This is a dual stamp, 13.5-inch barrel composite. Mike and MV1. This is a 2-piece aluminum USA stamp. And finally, my maple bat. This is from Phoenix Bats. This is a 34-inch, 29-ounce version. Next, we've got the Aero Swing bat. This is one of my favorite tools for getting warmed up and for training the more downhill swing path in softball. All right, so the first thing, if you want to get better hitting the opposite way in slow pitch softball is you need to get a tee and you need to work on tee work. Even Major League Baseball players, even pro softball players, they hit off the tee because this is the way you can work on your mechanics without worrying about the pitched ball coming in, which the location is gonna vary. You don't wanna be concerned about when you're working on improving the mechanics of your actual swing. Now, if you don't yet have a batting tee, it's a worthwhile investment. You get what you pay for, so if you buy a really cheap one, don't expect it to last as long. If you spend more money up front, you'll get one that lasts a long time. This GT, this is a great one, but no matter what your budget is, find something that you can invest in that's gonna be with you, that's gonna have some durability. Don't buy the cheapest batting tee. It's not a good idea, I promise you. Basic fundamentals, if I'm gonna practice my tee work, I want to adjust myself in the box to where I feel comfortable. I'm gonna put the tee on the outside part of the plate. And so for me, I'm gonna move up a little bit, simulating the pitch getting deeper. And this looks pretty good to me. And now I'm also gonna stride a little bit towards the plate. And then I'm gonna try to make contact, obviously still in the sweet spot, but I'm letting the ball travel deeper. And one thing that's really great is to simulate and visualize the pitch coming in. So I do this a lot on the tee where I'll kind of be here and I'll imagine it floating in and then boom. All right, so let's talk about your two options for hitting to the opposite field in slow pitch when it comes to pitch selection. So number one, if your feet are set and you're not gonna move your feet much in the box. So say you have a pretty typical stance, you like where you stand, and you basically are gonna say, hey, if it's middle, I'll hit it middle. If it's inside, I'll pull it, or if it's away, I'll hit it away. That's one way of doing it. If that's the case, then you've got to get an outside pitch, and then you've got to let it get deep, and then you're gonna drive that pitch. That's option one. And then option two, which is unique to slow pitch, is you're gonna let any pitch become an opposite field hittable pitch. And the way you do that is by starting so far back that basically you could let any pitch get deep, including this one on even the inner half. I can let this pitch travel because I'm so far back. I can just wait for it, step into it, and smash it oppo. Or if I still get a pitch that's a little farther away from me, say outer half, and I'm all the way out here, I can just dive in, really stride close to the plate, and do the same exact thing. So this is my approach. I like being farther away from the plate. I like going opposite field. I like trying to hit opposite field home runs. I think it's fun. So for me, I'm gonna stand pretty far away. That way, if it's inside, I can pull it. If I wanna go middle, I don't ever hit it back of the pitcher intentionally. I think it's a horrible thing to do, but I have a lot of power to center field, so I'll hit a lot of balls over the center fielder's head. I'll let him get deep and try to go there. Or if the pitch is away, no problem. I can just dive in and I can hit pretty much any pitch opposite way. So if you're really far off the plate and you're fine moving your feet and taking a big dive in stride, then you can make any pitch hittable the opposite way. All right, next let's talk about vertical pitch location, which I touched on a little bit, but I want to talk about some more. When you're gonna hit to the opposite field in slow pitch, by far the easiest pitches to do this with, to hit the ball with authority, our pitch is up, because it's gonna be easier for you to see the ball. It's gonna be eye level as you let it travel deeper, and then you can just throw your barrel at it and have a very good chance of lifting it over the first baseman's head into the outfield, right? Over the second baseman's head into the gap. If you choose a really low pitch, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to stay on top of it, and you risk any amount of like palm turning up, your barrel's gonna have a good chance of dropping beneath it, and you're gonna pop up a much higher percentage of these low pitches. These low pitches have such a steep trajectory, combined with the bat head having to drop to get barrel to it, results in a lot of pop-ups. Your best chance of hitting the ball with authority to the opposite field is the high pitch. I'd say your lowest chance is the low pitch. Obviously, if you're good with getting barrel to ball, you can hit any pitch hard, but in my experience, this one's gonna be a tougher pitch to hit hard. And you might wanna take this one and say, okay, if I can get a high pitch that's at least at the belt, this one's a little bit like mid-thigh. If I can get one at least at the belt or maybe belly button or chest, that's the one where all I have to do is go bam. It's really easy to stay on top of it and hit that line drive over the first baseman's head for extra bases. So I want to thank again my sponsor, justbats.com. You'll find links to every bat you saw in this video today, along with tons of other ones in the description below. So definitely check them out. They've been a huge support of my channel, and I could not appreciate them more. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you here in the next video.